All right. And hopefully we should be audible soon. All right, there we are. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the beginning of the 2024 Winter Tournament. Thavian was supposed to do the introduction, but I accidentally started talking first, so here we are. Sorry about that, Thavian.
Hey, not a problem. You were getting us started with the delay we had. Technical difficulties. ADR's website is down. We do not have tracking notes on screen. We do have our tracker in chat and with us, so if we see anything miss, want to track anything, we have that information. Just jumping in quick, we have seen with all of all of our racers the magic so far. Heal 3, Life 2, Harm 2, and Fade for the white, and Lock 2, Ice 3, Sleep, and Fire 3 for black. That is excellent magic to use. We will get through the blessings. We will talk flags. And hey, that is a bridge early. That is huge because that accesses Provoca and the Matoya's Cave.
Yeah. You never like to see a bridge too far. But, so, as you probably have already picked up on, if you're paying attention, we do have three of our runners running fighter, thief, white mage, black mage. I swear I can talk. And by and large, we've got some interesting stuff there. Fighter has access to elemental magic. Thief has heal plus magic. White mage just can throw on shirts and punch dragons good. And black mages have heal magic and plus 20 MDef. The black belt that Gouda decided to take, on the other hand, gets the wooden armor set evasion bonus as well as plus 25 agility. So there we go. Blarsing's taken care of.
I will say we did see a quick check. Scarcer found the adamant, got the ruse stick out of dwarfs. We did see what the king and the princess had. I think the king had some money and the princess had the rod.
Yeah, it was like 5,555 G, it looked like to me. So plenty of cash to get this party started.
It's nice to see some route divergence. The flags for this tournament are a shard hunt, so we do not necessarily need to fight all the fiends, although the fiends are worth shards, 2 for the first 2 fiends and 4 for the second. 2 shards there in Toph top left. That is good to see. But otherwise, it is a loot hunt. Everything is loose. Some of the turn-ins, basically all the turn-ins of items with NPCs, are likely to be the equipment items, the opal, the ruse stick, which we've seen, the vorpal, and the excal. The katanas themselves are loose, so those are still big. And that is the crystal in Matoya's closet. That is good to see where it is.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, one thing to keep in mind, there are only 7 incentive items and 7 incentive NPCs. So, the only non-equipment item that is in that incentive pool is going to be the tail.
Which
Uh,
just came out of Matoya. What do
so
you
yeah,
know? A witch had a tail of a rat. You'd think she'd have that for brewing?
I mean, I don't know, Matoya, you know, a little old lady with bad eyesight living in the middle of nowhere. That's kind of proof of bravery to me. But yeah, so like Fabian was saying, so this is going to be a shard hunt situation with basically oops all loose for our key items. So what that is going to mean in practice is we're opening a lot of boxes, which I believe is what is incentivizing most of our runners to take this fighter thief combo rather than the thief black belt or some other combination like a black belt rainbow. You're going to be opening a lot of boxes. You're going to find the good stuff.
Do have to note, it looks like Gouda did go Thief Black Belt, though. We have some divergence in our runners on stream. Speaking of runners, we have 27 runners on this first qualifying, so 4 on stream, but plenty more. We will keep you updated on finishers.
Yeah, so it is one of those things where we're not going to see too much divergence until we actually get some transportation, which we do. I would like to just clarify: it is only the fetch quest NPCs that are incentivized. So BK is not going to have an incentive item necessarily. He might have one by happenstance, like we saw with Princess Sarah.
Is this even randomized? That is a Bicky with a ship.
You know, I thought that if I took a break from commentating this game, it would stop contradicting me as I'm saying words. 10 minutes in the past. Um, But okay, so we do have the upper continent, the northern continent docks, and the Cardia dock flag enabled. So there are some map edits going on if you've never seen Final Fantasy Randomizer before. So these runners basically can go wherever they feel like at this point. And I would be surprised if we don't see at least um, someone go ahead and run that. Well, you mentioned
Still
we have a
need the
tail.
canal.
Oh, right. I forgot about that.
Not only
We
do they
are.
need the canal, we have the flag set, so this may be an oops all loose, but the items are meant to, in the logic of the randomizer, be essentially in a reasonable progression order. So they might find the canal quick, they might not, but other items, oh, that was the adamant was in dwarves. It was a lazy-ish dwarves.
Yeah. Well, the bright side is. So let's see. At this point, they have Marsh. Have access to Marsh. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So we're probably looking at a Marsh dive unless our canal. Well, I don't think canal can actually be a vendor item, can it?
Uh, we have not seen any vendor items yet, so
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember if it's one of those intangible items you can't buy in a shop, like the ship it. Well, no. Yeah.
the floater you can definitely buy in shop, but I do not believe that the boats or the canal can be because that's like
Okay.
logical map unlock.
Yeah. So I think it would need to be like the TNT or the key or the crown in as a vendor item in Elfland here
I do
to keep
notice
us from having to go straight to Marsh.
I do know Scarcer, our first runner into Marsh, actually did a bit of a loop around the or above before entering. Looks like we're already seeing some manipulation of encounters. Getting a good run off the encounter he went in on Marsh hasn't even got, and there's the TNT. Back to Dwarf Scarcer goes once he gets out of here.
I mean, okay, so here's the question. You know that fetch quest NPCs are incentivized, and our scaling for this particular flag set does put enemies at 110 to 160%. Do you feel comfortable enough with the starting magic to just go ahead and clean out this marsh, or do you think maybe I'll run this TNT back and maybe get one of those fancy incentive items to make my life easier?
I would say clear if you've got the save. Just definitely get out with with the TNT and the canal that was just picked up as well. That is actually access to the outer sea, and that's access to promotion very early. Gouda likely not going to promote with that black belt, but I assume every single racer is going to make a quick run down to Cardia in the boat just to be safe.
Yeah. Now we don't have Bahamut's Horde on, so that's a little less incentive to say, yeah, I'll come back in a minute. Um,
But getting that TNT turn in with the option of promoting, the high likelihood that they're going to get a weapon like maybe a rolled up Excal or even a rolled up Vorpal that would be usable after promotion, that could incentivize that routing.
yeah. Because yeah, so our blur weapon and armor blur sinks for this are as low as -1, but can go up to I believe +6 for weapons and +5 for armor.
Thereabouts. All I know is in my practices earlier, I was seeing generally oop, that is a loot in top right Marsh.
Yeah,
That
flip
is
it around.
huge.
+5 for weapons at maximum, +6 for armor at maximum, and -1 minimums. So, generally speaking, those are going to be like those weapons are going to roll up.
Another huge hit, Katana +2 out of Marsh. This Marsh top and Marsh bottom have been huge value. You do often with these flags see a lot of the progression items early, but not always this dense with this much good gear. That's very much incentivizing promotion because very early a black belt or a ninja with a katana +2 is just insane.
Yeah, that's gonna work against Buddha, honestly. Since out of these four runners we see on screen and anyone else who took a black belt, the incentive is going to be against voting because I believe we are working with vanilla in-depth growth. Yeah, so for the folks who may not be in the know on this, the black belt gets a +4 to its in-depth every time it levels up. The Master, the promoted black belt, only gets a +1. So as a general rule, you do not want to promote your black belt unless you are already satisfied with its level and its MDef and all that good stuff. So that fancy katana that Thaven was just talking up, not that helpful for Gouda, because he does not necessarily want to promote as quickly as everyone else does. There's no penalty for everyone else to go ahead and promote.
There is always the possibility of finding the ribbons. There are 3 ribbons in the pool of items, but you want those ribbons for things like your not massive MDef by nature characters.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see what decision Gouda makes, because that +2 katana in a thief's hands, that's as good as having a geared up black belt. Like, you almost at that point might just say, you know what, I'll stand this black belt.
Especially since they saw fast at level 2. They will have a good number of casts. In fact, that ninja, once it hits past level 15, will start building up casts all the way up to level 5 magic. He would be able to fast himself.
Yeah, no, that fast is definitely going to be in the ninja's wheelhouse. So, yeah, I would almost, like, if Gouda doesn't decide to dan that black belt, that just, that's a commitment to black belt strats, is what that is.
And one thing about the black belt strats, that even though we're doing an Oops All Loose shard hunt, which normally disincentivizes taking a grind because you're mostly looting, we do have vanilla trap tiles. So we know where the Agama is, we know where the eye is, we know where the grind tiles are. That said, the grind tiles can still be very dangerous because the move pools are very not safe.
Oh, I missed that Gouda actually brought a red mage instead of a white mage. Red mage's blursing was they got vitality and luck. It's nothing to write home about.
Looks like Demon Rock is in Dwarfs now. Scarcer is going back now. Demon Rock, having already gone down to Marsh, is only doing this once, whereas Scarcer is doing it for a second time. They do not have Exit or Warp, so they're going to have to run this back out. And that is the Power Bonk coming out from the TST turn-in. That is a Rue Stick and a Power Bonk to put on a ninja that's going to have a Katana +2 early. That's really good gear.
Yeah, no, if I'm in Gouda's shoes, and Gouda's a much better player than I am, that black belt, he's already wearing pajamas, it's nap time. Like, just stick that black belt in the front and let nature run its course as you run around.
We do not have the flag set so that nuns or dead get experience, so getting rid of that black belt in the party means that his 3-man party from that point on would be gaining that much experience that much faster.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that would potentially give him an edge over these other runners on stream. Again, this is a 27-person pool, and we're only seeing a 4-person slice of it, but...
we have more divergence. It looks like Demon, RHK, and Scarcer are going to promote. Meanwhile, Gouda went towards Earth Cave, having gotten that rod. So Gouda definitely not prioritizing leveling or promoting.
Yeah, that makes me think he might keep this black belt alive. The temptation of Katana is not doing the job.
Well, if he gets the floater and gets the airship and has the time, he might promote later, because the MDef growth is good with the black belt, but if he promotes after he's done that grind, he will have access to the gear for his other characters and maintain that grown MDef.
Yeah. We'll see what he winds up doing there. But yeah, so Demon and Scarcer are already wearing their big boy clothes, so we'll see exactly how this plays out.
Bottle coming out of Earth 1, bottom right, actually bottom left.
Windfox, it looks like, still trying to deal with this Marsh Cave, which... It's Marsh Cave. This is to be expected.
Scarcer, having promoted, it looks like going back to Elflin might be getting some items, or doesn't have the levels, so I don't know if you can get the magic just yet. You have to, I believe magic accrues at level 15.
Yeah, I don't recall if you can buy. Yeah, I don't think you can actually buy magic for your fighter, for your knight or ninja until they actually get the spell slots at 15. Uh,
Does have access to the spells that he could not buy for his white mage, though,
yeah,
now having promoted. So the white wizard gets 2 additional spells that were otherwise blocked at level 3 white.
yeah, and those were. Let's see. Oh yeah, there's a life and a wall in there. Yeah, yeah, you're getting those.
Demon
But
Rock
it looks.
checking that Earth 2 bottom, gonna get check the Earth 2 top if he hasn't already. Meanwhile, or Gouda, I should say. Meanwhile, Demon Rock has joined him in Earth as Scarcer is picking up magic and heading out of Melman.
Yeah, I expect we're at least going to see one runner do a little bit of Hall of Giants leveling. With the magic we've got, we can easily get up into the double digits in a couple of fights.
This is very true.
Yeah. Windfox managed to get out of the Marsh Cave and immediately had a bunch of wolves pounce on his party, but
That is some oof. Now, should point out, for anyone who know the flag, these have unrunnables enabled. Not a very high level, but with the way the randomizer works, unrunnables in general are a nightmare. Ooh, Stinger, that's very annoying. Those images are just not happy for you. You're gonna run out of potions pretty fast if you keep getting hit by that.
yeah.
Or cures, I should say. Good on his way to check Earth TFC, finds a silver helm, pretty useful actually. +5 on a helm, put it on that knight. Oh wait, he doesn't have a knight.
Yeah. I just wanted to double check and make sure that we do at least get the wait command on unrunnable fights. And that
yes,
is
we do.
convenience we did turn on, so.
Anyone who played the game vanilla and realized, why am I not able to run repeatedly? And it's like, now we actually have a flag set so it'll say, wait, ooh, that is a +4 white shirt. Very nice, that's Invis 2 casts, even if he doesn't promote to equip it.
Yeah. And as a friendly reminder to folks who are crafting flags in the future, if you want to really mess with people, turn that run to wait flag off and don't say anything. Gets them every time.
They'll never know until they get to a boss and see that it's not wait by default. And by boss, I mean speed bump, like the blue thing that's no longer in existence on Buddha screen. And hey, that is a ruby. That is
That's
huge proximity check. Well, that's very true. We've had vanilla ship and vanilla ruby.
Okay, are we sure that, like, the way that this flag set works, we don't have vanilla main quest items?
No, it's set up to be relatively linear. You really do want to go check what you can check when you can check it. Skipping different locations might just hurt you, but that is just special how this has been.
Okay,
Seeing
yeah,
our
no,
first
that's
look at Earth
definitely
Army and the
shuffled.
Crown. Ooh, and a Thorhammer +5. That is a really nice weapon to see if you can wield it, but it's still lightning 2 cast if you can't.
Yeah. And yeah, Gouda immediately moves that onto his black belt, which I'm always a fan of handing a black belt, something that they can do other than punch things. Because sometimes, shockingly, the black belt obliterating things in 1 or 2 hits is not the most useful use of their time. But yeah, everyone who has their white mages, which again is not Gouda, but the other 3 players are all going to be very happy to see a +5 Thunder Hammer.
I mean, anyone who brought the white mages are just happy with the white magic early anyways. But saving those casts of their spells, especially early, I mean, they might be promoted, but they still don't have as many levels as you might want.
Yeah. Really, I'm just here in the hopes that we'll get to see a white mage crack Tiamat over the head with a hammer.
This is true. That could be fun. Right now, what I'm hoping for is to see that early chest with an X on it. What we have is a loose chest location with an X on it which has the Masa. That is the key. Another huge dig from Earth. Lich's Closet having some scores. That's a lot of checks to get, and proximity-wise, a good time to get it because they're right near the inner sea.
Yeah. Okay,
But
so
that chest with the X on it has the Masa, but it also has a war mech guarding it.
oh yeah, Warbeck, Guardian of Masa, always a fun flag. But you know, our tournament committee was polite enough to make sure that you can identify which chest that is. And since that is the only trap chest in the game, you know which chest it is. Um,
The real hope is you've got a full stack of weapons in your inventory because then you can interact with it, see what the Masa rolled, and then leave if you don't want to try for it.
oh, come on. Where's the fun in actually being able to make a decision about whether or not to fight a war mech?
Ooh, Lich has Blaze. The speed bump has teeth. And Lit too. That is
Always
wiping out hard.
Respect Lich. I know we joke, like, Vampire's a road bump. Lich just waits for the key moment to just make you regret everything. Yeah, Gouda's got a tough choice now. Or I guess not a tough choice, but Gouda's stuck now with the difficult realization of, like, he knows what all's down there. He knows his key's down there, which he has to get that key.
I think Gouda might be going to promote. I think he really wants that katana to get that damage over early. Because he's leaving Earth right now.
He may just be opting to go explore other options.
Well, at the moment, there aren't many other options he has because he lost almost all those items. I don't even know if he saved coming out of Earth 1 with those early checks.
He could, well, okay, one option he has, he could go over to Crescent Lake. That's another key item check. Or not a key item check, it's another check that, you know, is likely to have something handy.
And possibly the store item.
Yeah, it's another vendor item check. You can get some more spells, but most importantly, and this is something I like to point out, the area around Crescent Lake is not too terribly different from the Peninsula Power. In terms of just, like, you know, obviously there's some better enemies at Peninsula Power, but there's enough, it's close enough to where you can do a grind outside of Crescent Lake, and not really lose that much time compared to, like, grinding at the Peninsula Power.
Most definitely. We've got the packs of EXPs, some trolls. You can get some good money as well as experience early. And yep, you're correct. Gouda is going to Crescent.
Yeah. Now, it's one of those things, if he's not going to redive Earth, this is really the only other option he has at the moment. It gives him 2 chances to potentially pop another key item, and it's a really solid grinding spot. Because also you have that inn. You don't have to worry about, like, packing houses or tents or anything. You can take a fight, walk right back into town.
And it's a straight shot into town. It's actually the fastest inn to get to in the game for any other city.
Yeah. Now, I am personally a big fan of grinding at Crescent Lake if you're going to do an early game grind. Unless you just, like, you know, get a crown, walk into, like, in cases where you have shuffled spike tiles, like, Northwest Castle is another solid option, but yeah, like I said, this is where I like to do my grinding if I have to do a grind early on.
We are about to see 2 other runners on stream, Demon RHK and Scarcer, fight Lich. We know Lich has teeth. Let's see how they handle it.
Yeah. And they don't look like they're in much better shape than Gouda was, so we're going to see...
They do have better gear, though. The white shirt, the steel, or the silver helm and armor.
Yeah, but it's a question of, does Lich get off that Blaze first? Or that Lit 2? So... Ooh, that is not a lot of damage out of that fighter.
If this ninja gets a swing off, that's pretty much the teller, because the ninja did get fasted.
Yeah. Oh, but that's a hold!
Dick move!
And Blaze comes out and blasts everyone on Scarcer's side.
We do
Um,
have life in battle enabled, not life 2, but that no casts, not high enough level, and with a 1 party member up, that's Cure 3 Desperation.
yeah, that we are now in Thor +5. Demon manages to pull through. Oh yeah, Scarcer swinging with the Thor hammer, but yeah, we are in cleric strats on Scarcer's side. But it looks like the white mage at least survived the initial onslaught and does manage to get
Oh,
Lich down, and
huge clutch.
that is going to be a swole white wizard for a little while.
Out of
Okay, it's
life
like 2
cast,
levels,
though,
but
that's unfortunate. He doesn't have a house, it looks like, so he's not going to be able to res his party. Meanwhile,
that's
Damon Rock or RHK is actually checking the turn-in with the Ruby. We do have the 4 chests here in Titans, as well as Sarda.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, the bright side is, yeah, you have that Thor hammer, and Lit 2 is at least going to thin a lot of crowds early on. So that white mage on Scarcer's side should be able to press through just fine. Okay, Scarcer are just saying, you know what? We're just gonna go solo white mage strats for a little bit.
I am curious to see why he has... Oh, wait, never mind. He's got his party icon set to a different default location. One of the things you can do with the randomizer is set it up so your party icon on the overworld is not your first party member. So we see the black slab coming out of Titan's Trove. That's nice to see. And floater. Uh-oh,
Ooh.
need the canoe. We do not have the Ryokan Desert dock enabled, but hey, that's a floater in hand.
All
And
right.
Gouda chooses to promote.
Yeah, I completely missed what Gouda was up to because I was so wrapped up in all the Lich fighting.
Well, after Hidden Crescent, and that is the herb. That's another turn-in that can be done relatively quickly. With the key in hand, that means a turn-in and those 4 chests checked. There's also the 3 chests in Northwest Castle when they get there. Toflock has 3 chests, and 3 more chests at the bottom of Marsh if they dare go down there.
No one's going back to Marsh.
Very true. And, of
Like,
course, the 6 chests in Canaria Castle.
yeah. It is also worth pointing out again, the Elf Prince is one of our fetch quest NPCs, so we know that that herb is turning into something good.
With the promotions and with multiple parties having a night, they're looking for a rolled-up Excal to have 2 very powerful beat sticks in the party, but they could also find the ribbon, they could also find the opal, which, given how dangerous some of these events have been so far, that's a big thing as Demon Rock RHK translates that slab. May go to Lefane when he can. Ooh, 4,000 or 45,000 for a gold +1. They really don't find that opal.
Ooh, that steel armor is almost worth it at that point. That looked like it rolled up to +6.
Very bad for evasion, but absurdly good for absorb. And unfortunately,
I mean, okay. I was gonna say, even with the bad evasion on steel armor at +6, that's almost tolerable.
indeedly do.
No, you're
Plus,
saying?
we have the wood armor bonus, so that he may have promoted his party, and the black belt no longer gets the MDF advantage, but the black belt had +25 agility and has the wood adept, so if he could slow up some wood armor on that and a ribbon, well, he can't do a ribbon in that case, unfortunately, but on that wood armor, he'll have evasion instead of MDef.
Yeah. Ah, and there's our Oxyale. I was going to observe earlier that we really were mostly at this point looking for dungeon access, and that's dungeon access out of Dwarf. So,
Not only dungeon access, it's dungeon access to a lot of chests.
yeah, but it is a lot of chests that are guarded by some really nasty things, and the one thing we don't really have yet are levels, except maybe on Gouda's side.
And maybe specifically on a white mage for Scarcer.
I mean, listen, you go to war with the army you have, and sometimes the army you have happens to be really good at fixing people's boo-boos.
I do believe Gouda is on his way to the desert towards Mirage. He is looking for a grind. That is the only reason I can think of him seeing a steak and wings pack.
I am genuinely surprised to see him, like, not pushing that black belt to the front of the line and just going, you know what, I'm going 3-man. And we're gonna have to ask him about that after we're done here, because, like, I know Gouda's good enough to run a 3-man party.
I missed what the Elf Prince had for us, but I did see that Demon Rock pulled the Chime out of Carnaria Locked, so that's access to Mirage, which itself has some fairly fast access chests.
Yeah. Hopefully some of the other eyes we have on things can let us know what the Elf Prince had in store.
Or we can just see someone else get it when they get there, and it looks like the crown turns into the ribbon. That is huge to see. Got the Divergent tracking. That should not be a long-lived evil Dark Elf King. As Scarcer picks up the ribbon and is going to go and check out those 3 additional locked chests, we will be our first chance to see Toph lock. Oh, who is the Masa?
Ooh.
And Demon Rock says, my levels ain't there. I ain't taking a fight with a Warmack.
Yeah. Windfox, meanwhile, going into this Lich fight, not promoted. I'm actually not sure if Windfox has that tail. Black Mage holding on with 1 MP. Throw the Quake, throw the Quake, throw the Quake, throw the Quake, throw the Quake. Ugh.
Did he not? I thought he already fasted the fighter.
He fasted the Thief.
Well, that's a bounce out, and it looks like, yep, he's going to go ahead and grab his other items. He did not save after getting these first level chests. I've come to know, save whenever you can.
Yeah. So...
Scarcer out of the Elfland area has taken care of those 2 checks for chests, as well as the item from the Dark Elf Lord and the Prince is going up, probably to Canaria Locked and Toph Locked. Meanwhile, Demon Rock is out, and Gouda is still running around the desert, around Mirage, trying to find a good pack that he can actually consistently take, because at his low levels, that Steak and Wing pack is still pretty dang scary. Probably looking for some sandwiches.
Well,
definitely not our Ankylos and Ankylos.
Yeah. No one wants to deal with the bullets today.
They're as close to bad eyes as you can find on the overworld.
In some ways, they're almost worse than the Phantoms.
Much higher absorb stat. Here
yeah,
we go.
Exactly.
Demon Rock, or RHK. It is the X-Cal +5. Oh my word, they have 2 substantial beat sticks, and that X-Cal this early, huge.
You know what the seed is saying to me, Thavian?
Hit shit until they die, pardon my language.
No, it's saying to me, hey, everyone who stuck to their guns and didn't bring a black belt with them, good job. Way to just, keep things fun. Shout out to everyone who likes black belts.
Power of the punch cannon, it can be worth it. Gouda does find his sandworms, and Demon Rock. One thing I wanted to note, he's running the warrior at the front of his party instead of the ninja. The ninja's extra evade stats do factor into priority of encounters, so chance to strike first versus monsters getting the early strike on you. It's usually best to run with that in the front of the party, even if it has a 50% chance of being swung at, whereas the second slot only has a 25% chance.
Yeah. I mean, it could also be one of those things where it's just like, Demon's probably anticipating, like, just with the... Yeah, looking at that equipment that he's already got on that knight, like, he may just be thinking, I can take a few ambushes to keep that ninja just buzzing.
Looks like Gouda is back down. He's running at that lower section of the desert. He's reached 13 across the board. He's approaching the point at which he's going to get some spell casts. You usually want to get those first charges, purchase the magic, and then continue leveling. Well, actually, never mind. I've got that backwards. I'm saying promote at 15 or below before, and then start getting the charges. But
yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, because the way that the ninja and the knight work with their charge gain, they gain an additional charge every odd level, like So the first odd level they gain after promotion, or 15 at minimum, is where they'll gain their first charge, and then they will gain additional charge every odd level after that until they have their maxed out charges, depending on the flags.
So,
Okay, Demon actually going back into Marsh Cave to open these locked chests.
it's a check desperation, because if he can find a canoe here, that would be huge. That would get him access to the floater, and it's highly unlikely other people are going to check these 3 chests. If not, I'm fairly certain the next places to check will be either Mirage Tower or Sea. They will have otherwise exhausted all the other checks that they can get to by boat.
Yeah, and I would suspect...
Looks like Gouda's done with his grind. He's going to go back to Earth.
Yeah, and at this point, that Lich is going to be a roadblock for him. Between the damage output of the ninja and just the HP pools of his party, he'll live long enough to drop the Lich.
Not so much a speed bump, but still something that can be knocked down.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Windfox in Earth again as well, still has not promoted, choosing to keep a bit of a search and go, taking down the blue blocker who did a lot of damage there. Cheeps.
Yeah. So the tail was in Marsh, right?
I believe Matoya had the tail.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so
they all had it fast.
Well, I'm wondering if Windfox didn't go to Matoya. Because there's no reason to have not promoted this party, like, especially after bouncing out, unless he just...
You're correct, He does not have it. We just saw his inventory. He does not have the tail. He faded Matoya, which, when you have those 3 early boxes and an oops all loose, is pretty risky.
I mean, he was probably banking on, well, I'll find the crystal at some point, and then I'll go do that. And it just is bad luck that the crystal landed in Matoya. Also, hi Magius. As far as what's missing at this point, the main things we're still looking for would be the cube and the canoe. We've seen basically everything else. I mean, I don't know if we've seen the bottle.
Did we get the loot? We got the bottle out of
Yeah,
Earth.
we got that was in Marsh. I'm pretty sure. Let me go check our tracker sockets notes.
I'm not seeing the loot gotten.
Okay, we do have the bottle though. That was out of Earth 1.
Yeah, we've got the bottle. We've got the key, which is where we're getting all these extra checks from. So they need the loot, and we're looking for the canoe not only to get access to some more places to get checks, but the floater coming out of Earth means that is mobility unlocked. Yeah. Or should be. And it looks like Scarcer is going into sea.
Yeah, now this is the better play at this point. Like, if you have to choose between Mirage Tower and Sea, I feel like Sea is your better option with what we've seen so far.
Yeah, if you're under-leveled, you can usually make a quick run into Mermaids and get a large number of checks that way on a relatively safe floor. Plus, unless there are a lot of unrunnable, horrible packs, you can usually, especially with a Thor Hammer and some upgraded party members and good spells early, you could make a lot of levels up very quickly here.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if we have Loot Magius, and the thing is, I don't know if we've really seen that many shards.
It looks like I just Demon Rock has just under 2 rows.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. It looks like Demon's sitting at 11 shards. So that's probably close to what Scarcerer has, and
Scarcer getting our first looks at TFC North.
Okay, alright, so thank you, Socket, for chiming in chat. Yeah, I think we saw loot out of bottom of Marsh. Like, I think it was on that, like, right side.
And Wild Ham in chat also chiming in. We've only seen everything but the canoe and cube, it seems.
Yeah.
What will TFC hold for us? It is a Dragon -1. That is a no-no sword. We've got an X-Cowl and a Katana. We'll stick with those.
Yeah, I mean, if we want to deal with the dragons, that's what we have our White Mage with the Thor +5 for.
And with Hurt Dragon, if they actually want to swing it rather than cast with it.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, we already have a walking dragon sword.
Sorry, I'm forgetting that promoted it can use the Thor Hammer as a weapon.
Yeah, yeah, it can. Shocking, I know.
Interesting. Windfox is running out of Earth. Did I miss something? Did he lose a party member, or is he just
I think he
not bothering to take the fight
I think he
because
wants
he
to see
saw
what's
what Lich
behind
had?
this ruby. Like, he's got the ruby in hand. He may be wanting to go back, see if Sarda's going to hand over something useful. Because he knows what that Lich is capable of, and he knows that, like, without access to that katana, he does not have as much firepower as he'd like. So, this might just be a let's go see the weird old man who lives on the other side of the tunnel.
Yeah, I mean, that Lich fight is 2 shards and a relatively quick exit from Earth. Otherwise, just run it out if you need to. It's totally understandable.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like Scarcer and Demon are both taking the mermaids first. Find the items if you can get them. At these levels, they're not necessarily going to be in a position to go left side first. Like Scarcer for getting the location of all the chests, but hey, it's mermaids. It's confusing. Ooh, an Aegis +1. That is an excellent shield to put on that knight.
Yeah. Yeah, and we've definitely been seeing quite a few shards in here. I would think we're up to like 14 or so now on Demon's side.
Speaking of Demon, he's found the Big Eye Gershark pack. Definitely wants to take that as a very juicy pinata of experience.
Mm-hmm. And with that Excal +5, we are absolutely going to shred, well, everything. Anything that has a type or a weakness. So
basically everything but Lich. Or everything but Chaos, I should say.
Yeah. In fact, I think even War Mech you can tear up with that Excal.
Windfox getting the floater out of the tunnel. Meanwhile, looks like Gouda did get the job done. There is a Lich gone.
Yeah.
That's some catharsis for his earlier loss.
Yeah. So Windfox knows that, like, the Thor's Hammer and the key are down on Earth 5 or Earth 4. And the crown is down there. So...
Now, I didn't see if Scarcer carbonated bubbles. I hope he did.
I was not paying attention to that. So yeah, so Windfox at this point knows he's going to have to go back down into Earth Cave at some point, because we need that key. But I imagine we're first going to see him follow this herb, maybe hoping to proc a ribbon from it. But this may be enough to push him to at least go check 3 boxes in Matoya. Like, that floater in hand really makes you want to find the canoe.
Demon carbonating bubbles. As Scarcer runs all the way back out, is going to use the hotel or the inn in I can't remember the name of that city all of a sudden.
You had it right, it's on rack.
Ah, okay. I was thinking for some reason an A name, even though there's no whatever. My brain, do you want me to is that? No, happens. I'm not having a stroke.
Yeah. Okay, look, it's easy to tell it's on rack. That place is a hole.
Yeah, fair enough. But not having access to some houses or just choosing it for not wanting to leave the city or not immediately, understandable. Windfox in Canaria, gonna go and pick up some gear there.
Did Windfox go all the way down to get the key? Okay, yeah, so Windfox is never going back to Earth Cave. He's just going to find those 2 shards from literally anywhere else.
Gets the chime, gets access to Mirage.
Okay, Magius is correct. No, Onrak is a whole Magius. Read the classics. Anyway.
Melmond is a dirt pile.
Yeah.
Well, sand. Melmond's just a sand dune. The sand gets everywhere when you go there.
and it's coarse and rough. But yeah, so um, yeah, Windfox I suspect is going to continue to fade Matoya's Cave with that key in hand because he's going to have enough options. So this is an interesting spread right now. We've basically got Demon and Scarcerer holding hands going through the seed. Gouda and Windfox are kind of in the same place progression-wise, but Gouda is kind of swole, but also suboptimal for the strategy he was going for at the beginning of the seed. And Windfox is in a position where he is unlikely to promote anytime soon. Like, I feel like he's not going to go... If he goes back to Matoya at all, it's going to be after he finds the canoe.
Scarcer pulling a Flame Armor +2 out of the bottom left room on Sharknado floor. That's pretty good upgrade for the chest gear. But yeah, I concur. The fading of Matoya at this point is real. He's got progression items that he can go into more chest-dense areas, and he doesn't want to get those levels whether he promotes or not. He might just be going, I might not even promote.
Yeah. I mean, one nice thing is the Masa is accessible. And even unpromoted, there should be enough gear and magic available to where he should be able to take that Warmech down and get that Masa to hand to the thief. So,
if that Masa rolled up, it really does mean the katana is effectively useless to him.
Yeah. So yeah, it's one of those things. Windfox is definitely going to struggle a bit more than the other three, like in the early parts of the seed, but depending on his routing and his gearing, there is a good chance that he could still come out of this all right.
We've got some good divergence. Gouda has gone back to the desert, is in Mirage, our first-person check, finding Dragon +4. I'm fairly certain Scarcer and Demon are going to love that when they find it.
Yeah, I'm loving how Gouda keeps finding all of the things that would be really nice for the party members he didn't bring before everyone else does. And yeah, Mages actually bring up a good point. If Windfox does go after that Warmech because he never finds the tail, that's going to do a lot to close the gap XP wise.
That's over 20,000 experience for that encounter, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, so we'll see what choices Windfox makes from here.
Scarcer on Kraken's floor decides to go up to that top room. Doesn't save any steps, but it is kind of nice.
Yeah. So yeah. As a reminder for folks, in Shard Hunt, Kraken and Tiamat are worth 4 shards of the orbs compared to Lich and Carry's 2. So this is a worthwhile endeavor to go beat up this Kraken.
I believe they might have found a Bane item, but they don't have Brack.
I thought
I
Brack was
think we're just
fairly
going to go
early
ahead
on
and
in the
cut.
magic. Okay, I was mistaken. Yeah.
That is the cube out of Mirage. What do you know? Sky is unlocked from Sky's entry in the first place. And the canoe.
Okay.
Wow.
Who
Gouda just got a
someone
huge
yeah.
buff.
Red Mage in chat called it Canoe and Sky. I'm going to count Mirage as Canoe and Sky.
Now,
Gouda,
interesting, Gouda doesn't have exit or warp. He is going to continue progressing. He knows where those items are. He can pick them up if he crashes out again. But, yeah.
with as many boxes as are available in Sky, even if you skip out on Spider Floor, Gouda will probably be in a decent enough position to like get out of Sky the hard way.
Yeah, that
Of
was
course,
a
he first has
Bane
to get out of this
sword.
Catman fight, which
I should mention I rolled this seed, so these trolley heal Catmen is my fault.
Trolley heal stun Catmen.
And Kraken for Scarcer. Let's see what he pulls out. It looks like it's going to be cast in. Or it's going to go with the white shirt and the Bane stick that came out of Sharknado bottom left. So he is going for that fun with that Black Mage rather than sticking some nukes, which, I mean, if. Or, sorry, Ice 3, which level 1 magic, pretty nice to use. It's not
Yeah.
Brack, but it can work. Ooh, Sleep Touch from Kraken. How nice is that?
Not too terribly nice when you were counting on your ninja to carve you up some octopus rolls.
Well, it came up from it, but it's also taken a lot of damage, and that is another sleep touched effect.
Yeah, the good news is the ninja is still alive.
Really, really, really wants the fast cast and power bonk, but I think he has the power bonk on that knight. Just gonna go with swing, swing, swing at this point. This is an absorbent Kraken. Jeez.
And down goes our Bane sword. So, excuse me, we are going to have to punch through this Kraken's defenses. And I don't. There we go. So, Scarcer coming out of Kraken as Demon goes in. It looks like Scarcer is up in the high teens at this point.
Taking that quick jaunt to resurrect his Black Mage, and yeah, just gonna leave. Doesn't want to bother running to the house. He's got 12 houses, so no real need to stay at a hotel.
Cube was in greater than less than Krellin.
Yep, along with the canoe.
Yeah.
And they had the floater very early, so
Yeah, and Gouda did get the floater, I'm pretty sure.
yep.
Yeah, because I believe when he was retreating from Earth Cave, he did swing around to go check that.
Well, we can always check
Maybe.
the inventory if he checks there to save or heal pot, but as fast as these people inventory, it's crazy.
Yeah. The demon, I guess, got lucky with the Bane sword because he's already out.
That's a huge way to catch up with Scarcer, who had a bit of a lead coming out of there. It looks like Scarcer going to do the check for a grind in the desert.
Yeah. Demon not going to be too far behind. We'll see if he stops to fight anything or if he just is going to make a beeline to the tower.
Windfox
Sage
doing
is.
the check on Crescent, going to get out of there. Doesn't have a charges enough for exit, unfortunately.
Yeah. Also, I don't believe we've seen our vendor item. I think that means it's got to be either at the caravan or in Gaia at this point.
True, but it is also possible with these flags that we do not get a vendor item. If you see in one of the shops two items, identical items, that means the vendor item does not exist in the flag
Yeah.
or in
And
the seed.
yeah, and Scarcerer does find that dragon armor and is going to shuffle around gear, and we are good to go.
That is the immediate equipped, and even though you're going to get the floater or the canoe out of Greater Than Lesland, they will get the cube. I'm assuming they will follow Gouda up and just go ahead and take care of Sky now, and then go ahead and get into the Sky.
Yeah, so Gouda is almost certainly going to be our first runner airborne, but uh, considering the fact that he's still got to go back into Earth. No, he did go back into Earth. So, yeah, but Gouda doesn't have a sea shrine, so.
Did Windfox go back and get the tail, or go to Matoya's and get the tail, or is he just running down here hoping that Canaria or Cardia Horde is enabled?
I wasn't looking too closely, but okay,
Yep,
yeah,
he was looking for the Horde and does not have the tail yet. That is an oop.
yeah. Yeah,
So far,
yeah,
Gouda has pulled some good gear out of this Sky. Doesn't want to fight these metal slimes. That is good experience if you got some fire magic to spare.
yeah. Shoutouts to Waffle Soup, rating with a party of 15. Welcome in, y'all. Um, We do not have a tracker going tonight because of technical difficulties, but we are generally keeping a good idea of what everyone's up to. But
Tracker
yeah,
overlay. We definitely do have Socket helping out with tracking. Thank you very much for Socket. He is in the chat. Chime in.
but yeah. Um, so just thinking about things at the moment. So Demon and Scarcerer are definitely, I think, um, at a lead over Gouda at the moment. Just because they've got that Sea Shrine plus Kraken kills worth of shards. Um,
Good ice armor out of CC's Gambit. I think it was ice armor +5.
yeah, pretty solid if you don't already have something better to toss onto your armor characters.
Well, that ice armor can go on the promoted ninja, so the dragon armor that's going on Scarcer and Demon's Knight will be backed up by the ice armor on the ninja for them. It is pretty much the best armor that Good is going to find for his ninja, though.
Yeah,
It's also pre-promotion armor for a warrior if Windfox ends up not getting that tail.
that is a really good point. So yeah, just sort of as a quick rundown for folks who are just joining us. So when we started out the seed, we found the bridge in Temple of Fiends, and shortly thereafter in Matoya's cave, found a crystal that turned into a tail. Windfox did not opt to go to Matoya's cave, presumably planning to hold off on making that trip until he had the crystal in hand. There are some obvious flaws with this plan. Um, obvious flaws in retrospect, because that crystal is in Matoya's cave. So one of the big questions right now is if Windfox is going to visit Matoya's cave at some point. Gouda and Windfox both bounced off of a Blaze Lich 2 or Lit 2 Lich at the bottom of Earth Cave. Demon and Scarcerer had some difficulties, but were able to force their way through, which is why they have kind of a little bit of a progression advantage over the other two runners. They were able to clear out that cave.
They also went ahead and cleared C, whereas Gouda has not been there, so Gouda might be fighting Tiamat now ahead of his competitors. Ooh, that was another ribbon coming out of Sky Spider Floor. That's a huge find. But yeah, Demon and Scarcer are progression advanced compared to Gouda, despite being fighting another fiend.
Yeah. And I believe that we also found a ribbon on Sky 1. So we know where all three of our ribbons are now.
That
Well,
is
okay.
huge to find.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Did we see the incentive ribbon?
That was from the Dark Elf King
Okay. So
in
yeah.
Northwest Castle.
So we've got our three ribbons. And our knight has like that Aegis and Dragon armor were both on the way. So
An Aegis, a Dragon Armor, and an Excal all rolled up makes that knight a sweet deal. And Gouda having those weapons is like,
yeah. So I mean, you
ooh, a
toss up
walking war mech.
yeah. Yeah, Patrolling Warmech is our Warmech setting in these flags, and this one happened to pop up in a position, and I'm wondering, Demon's going to take it.
Gouda passed it up, as did Scarcer. This is our first shot at a Warmech. We did see the chest that has the Masa is guarded by Warmech is in bottom right Toph locked, so our runners might hit up there. And ooh, Tornado. Doesn't take
Yeah.
anyone out, but that is a pretty big hit.
Tossing the fast onto the knight, that Excal is going to do damage to Warmech.
Yeah. Plus, the knight having all that armor was able to survive with minimal damage. 364 health compared to the rest of his party that's like 80 or below.
Heal 3 comes out to hopefully weather whatever comes next. And what's going to come next is the fastest corpse on the battlefield.
Warmex uses Stomp. It is super effective.
Yeah. So, yeah, at this point, if you're a demon, you are hinging your hopes of victory on getting this knight through the battle. Life comes out, picks up the ninja. Lock comes out to make this war mech easier for the knight to punch. Ninja's gonna throw up a heal spell.
Makes sense. The life won in battle only brought up to 29 health, and even with all that armor, he wants to keep his knight and all of his party members good because after this, he has to fight Tia. Meanwhile, Scarcer, skipping the Warmech fight, goes and defeats Tia and is out of Sky. That is 2 Sky Orbs lit for our runners on stream.
Yeah. Gouda, for some reason, not using the Gouda. I do not know what your plan was there. Well,
Crescent to
okay, Gouda
save,
doesn't
and
have the floater.
well, that's interesting because that would be the Ruby, and ah, I am confused there.
Okay, no. Gouda bounced out of Earth and didn't go back for the ruby. Gouda doesn't have the never did see the floater.
Oh, that is a huge miss. The seed could very well be floaterless, but that's really a big loss because now Scarcer
Yeah,
and soon Demon are going to have that and have progression advantages. Otherwise, I'm going to assume that Scarcer and Demon, at least Demon when he gets there, are going to go straight
yeah,
into either ice or volcano, probably volcano because it's not as chest dense, but it is a faster run than ice is for the chest it has, plus the 2 shards guaranteed at the bottom.
yeah. Because yeah, so Gouda did go back to Earth and does have the ruby now, but by that point he was basically just like, I've got enough I can do. Um, so he
Level 6
passed.
temper found that I missed earlier.
Yeah, not where you want to necessarily see temper, but it's at least accessible to all of our well, all of our players have one temper caster available with that placement. Because while it is at 6th level magic, it is not in the first slot, so Gouda's red mage cannot do anything with that temper. So they are,
Downfall of the master of, or the jack of all trades, master of none caster that is the red mage.
yeah,
Speaking of magic, Scarcer with the airship goes up to Provoka and picks up that fast and is going straight to Topher. Was Scarcer the one who checked out Toflock? Oh, wait, he's got the shards. He could actually just go straight in, too.
yeah. The fact that he's going over here makes me think he does know about the War Mech chest, so. And of course, the gargoyles are unrunnable because why wouldn't they be?
You're welcome.
Yeah.
But
So,
with the shards, knowing that Warmech's here, ooh, a Masa +2. He wants that because the X-Scal might be rolled up +5, but that Masa +2 will be much more effective in the fight against Chaos.
yeah. And Demon is also certainly going to collect that as well if he saw that, which I believe he did. Because he now knows he can take that War Mech.
Interesting choice. He has the Power Bunk on the Ninja and the Ruse Stick on the Knight. Normally backwards, but who knows? We'll see how that goes.
Yeah. But yeah, at this point, Demon definitely looking to be in the strongest position of our on-screen runners. As a reminder, there are 27 competitors in this race, and we will keep an eye on the outlying finishes and what have you. I will say we already do have a number of forfeits. I'm not clear necessarily. Obviously, we don't know what necessarily incentivized various runners to say, you know what, I'm good. I have to assume at least a couple of people were just like, yeah, I'm not going to finish a seed where Warmech wiped me out of Earth Cave. I have my honor.
Lich.
Did I say
It'd be
Warmech?
funny if. Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
that would be reasonable.
Yeah, but no, the Lich actually getting a party wipe is enough of an insult to where some people are just like, I'm done here. And Scarcerer timely raise on that ninja to get XP on his whole party from the War Mech.
Gonna use
He's going to,
exit out, not fight or not bother run, heal up. He now has all the shards he needs, doesn't have to go to any other dungeons, and is going to be our first racer on stream in Toph at just over 1 minute or 1 hour 4.
yeah. And Demon, it looks like, is also loaded up.
Trying to go and get magic for his ninja, I'd assume. Or
Yeah.
his knight. I think he wants to get the life cast on his knight if he can. Nope, unfortunately, as the second and fourth spells that are blocked from the knight and the non-promoted white mage.
Still worth checking up on just in case. Yeah. Gouda, meanwhile, down in Volcano, going to grind on some Agama. Probably looking to make that black belt in Ninja hit a little bit harder, make his um, those two plus the red mage have enough HP to survive a nuke.
Being nuke safe, being over 400 health points on your party is extremely valuable when it comes to Toph dives. But we also or Topher dives, but we also have to know the more levels he can get on that black belt, the more punches it gives out. Usually, he wants to see at least 32, I'd say, for a Toph dive or Topher dive, and then the
Yeah.
ninja. That katana is huge crit chance, and the more swings you can get, 5 getting multiplied up to 10 with a fast cast, can make a huge difference.
So, as the timers now show that we are at about the 106 mark, we do have some runners who had finished at this point. Because remember, there is a 10-minute delay on this stream. So, um, just to kind of give the quick rundown, so far of the qualifying competitors, Edgeworth finished at 1 hour, 3 minutes, and 44 seconds in first. Uh, we have Audron finishing about 12 seconds later, 103.56 in second. And then Dusk Plume and Fizzlebeef taking the third and fourth place slots. So several people found a quicker route through this seed, but we are definitely going to see some diving here in a minute.
And again, as you said, knowing what the Warmac has in stock, Demon RHK is doing the fight for that Masa and for the experience before he goes for his Topher dive, also having all the shards needed. As Scarcer is on the Lich floor.
Yeah. And Gouda just finished his uh, shard collection, so he is going to be heading back out. Not going to have the items in hand.
Having to go through the inner waterways doesn't
Yeah.
feel all that great, but he is making his way out, and we'll get back into the inner sea. He has to go all the way, wrap around the earth to get there, but progress has been made, or is
Indeed.
being made.
Yeah. Windfox, meanwhile, making steady progress through the Sea Shrine in spite of not having any promoted characters. This is a harder journey, but just because you don't have those better weapons. But
Here's a fun one. What does Scarcer see with Lich 2? Does Lich 2 have as much pain as... Oh, never mind. Lich 2's dead.
I mean, Lich 2 has plenty of pain. To answer the question, chat from Krellin, the Warmech was guarding Masa in the southeastern chest in Temple of Fiends. So,
Scarcer and now Demon have both taken that fight to get the Masa, which is huge value at +2 to go with the Excal +5 and the Katana +2 that they're already wielding.
oh yeah. So, Scarcer already through carry 2. Always good to
Loses the Black Mage, so the experience doesn't get on there, but he doesn't really care. He's got life 2 casts.
listen. That Black Mage just has to survive 2 rounds of combat at this point, and then you can just pick him back up for the next fight.
It can be utilized as a Blade of Meat shield.
Oh no, that's not until we get to Chaos. And even then, there's almost the temptation to shove someone else out in front because you want that Black Mage to live long enough to fast you up for Chaos. But Demon now also into Temple of Fiends Revisited is going to take the chance to get some even more experience from these slimes.
That's an 8-pack of Metal Slimes. That is a very thick party grind value.
Oh yeah, that was 10,000 experience points.
Meanwhile, Scarcer on the fight with Kraken 2. Kraken 2 open up with Flame Magic, Fire 2, instead of Punch the White Mage. Quad X does not land. 348 health is above the range for that kill to do. And then bye bye Kraken. We are on to, or almost on to Tia floor.
Yeah, Scarcer are making fantastic time through here. Um, so far, I don't know if we've really seen any major roadblocks. Like, unless Carrie has something nasty that Scarcer was able to just turn order his way past. Um, Tia's kind of our last opportunity for a gatekeeper. But yeah,
Tia can
Gouda,
be a fire brand of a dragon. So
yeah. But Gouda now also into Temple of Fiends Revisited. Windfox still sitting at 12 shards, it looks like, so a lot of work cut out for him, but, given the circumstances, he's doing his best. He's doing a pretty good job. Like, without knowing that that tail is there, just coming in here with, well, down to a fighter and a thief, this could turn out poorly, but
a
seems like
question
he's
in chat.
got some stuff to work with.
We got a question in chat from Razor One. Quad X at 600 hit points on this flags. I honestly don't know. I'd have to
It
check.
is. But that black belt, that ninja has a ribbon on. We have found 3 ribbons in this race. So,
Well, the Black Mage was the ablative meat shield at the back of the party. It is the only one dead as Scarcer's through Tia 2 and onto the Chaos floor. Meanwhile, Demon getting onto the Carry 2 fight.
and Windfox takes an unfortunate wipe on Kraken floor. I'm not sure if he
Ooh.
saved after doing mermaids, but based on the shard count, I have to assume so. I think we only saw the one shard on like Sharknado floor.
Looks like
Out
Scarcer
of
doing the smart thing. He is
Kraken.
actually shifting his ribbons around and did remember to put the Masa in place, the X-Scowl, for that extra crit and power.
And it looks like he is putting his faith in that Masa wielding knight, um, which makes sense. You
Using the
want,
fast cast from the ninja and the temper from the black mage combined. That's getting those cast out ASAP.
yeah. So his knight should already be in pretty solid shape to avoid any physical attacks from Chaos. And with a ribbon on, that's going to handle a lot of issues. Um, I believe that the fighter has a +3 MDef growth, so that fighter is going to be pretty respectable against the non-elemental options that Chaos can throw out there too.
Just saw
So
Chaos cast Cure 4. That's a second action. Seeing it this early, it's highly unlikely with the weapons and the power that we're going to see a rollover of Chaos's casts. So it's high. This could be a win on stream for Scarcer if he can clutch this out.
yeah, so he is going to, at this point, just start throwing out damage. Ooh, lock 2, very clever, very wise.
Cuts the evasion of
Ooh,
Lich or Chaos down.
stop comes out, but he manages to. Um, well,
His
he has
big
2
stick
ribbons.
wielder survived.
Yeah, his big stick wielder survived, and he also has the white mage to continue to kind of keep the big stick wielder up and running. But that is going to be a termination of Chaos for Scarcerer with an official racetime.gg time of 1:13:12, which is going to be good enough for a 10th place finish. Between Lord Fizzlebeef and Scarcerer, we have Not Young Me at 5th, Solario Rex in 6th, Herbie B in 7th, Rubes in 8th, and Ale in 9th. And finishing actually at almost the exact same time, Danny finished at 11th with a time of 1:13:13. So Scarcer barely sniping Danny. Very impressive.
Let's see if we can get Scarcer in on comps.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Demon RHK is through Kraken 2 as Gouda is on the Kraken fight, and Windfox is back in Earth finally.
Well, I mean, this isn't going to do Windfox much good. Like, he'll pick up those 2 shards from Lich, but he needs to go to Matoya.
That's very true. I thought he had wiped out and hadn't come back, but he has come back. So he is literally just going down to get 2 shards. This is a long run. He ran all the way back out before, didn't he?
Yeah. But I mean, I don't believe. Sometimes, okay. Here's the thing. Sometimes, especially when you've bounced off of a deep dive, you just go do something you know will progress you, even if it's not the optimal room move, just to give yourself a little time to breathe, clear your mind, figure out like how to untilt yourself and all that good stuff. Um,
Gouda wiped against Kraken. That is pain, and that I do believe is a forfeit for Gouda.
that is a forfeit for Gouda. Um, which is unfortunate, but also completely understandable.
Speaking of, we are joined by our winner on stream, Scarcer and Gouda. GG Gouda. Pain to see the wipe, but it happens.
Yeah.
If I wasn't on stream, I was .ffing after Lich blazed me. Not gonna lie. The only thing that kept me going was the fact that I was here.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm reasonably certain everyone who forfeited so far probably forfeit at about that point.
I saw Papa Ducks forfeit like about 5 minutes after I hit Lich, and I'm like, I bet you he also didn't take a white mage. So this is the first time that I haven't taken a white mage in these flags, and of course it comes back to bite me.
Oh yeah.
I was super close to rerolling. Very, very close to rerolling. Turns out that was the proper play.
Yeah. Okay. So before I forget, and then we'll get to you, Scarcer. Gouda, quick question.
So,
what was your motivation for keeping the black belt up once you decided you needed to promote?
Well, the black belt can still punch. The thing is with these flags is that his crit rate's not cut in half. So like none of the nerfs that we did in the randomizer to the black belt are still a thing. So I'm like, you know what? Worst case scenario, he's a second puncher, and he actually like helped carry me all the way through once he got to level 21. Because at 21 he gets a 6 hits, and then his crit rate's doubled, and next thing I know, he's essentially a squishy thief that doesn't do anything except for punch.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, so Scarcer, GG.
GG, thank you.
So, as we see Demon RHK finishing on stream with an official racetime.gg time of 1:17:09, which is going to be good enough for 12th place behind Danny. So, you and Demon both had a very interesting run through the seat. Y'all basically held hands pretty much the entire way. Hey, Demon. Glad you could join us.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was just saying to Scarcerer, y'all basically held hands through this entire seed. Like, y'all basically made the same moves at the same time, and pretty much, like, y'all both had desperate Lich fights at about the same time, and I figured that's a good place to start, because y'all both had very rude Lich fights that went in two different directions. So first of all, y'all took the same party, for the record. So fighter, thief, red, black, white, black. Is that just sort of your go-to for these flags based on your practice, or was there anything in the blursings that kind of drove y'all in that direction?
Black had better blursings than red.
Okay. Demon?
It's my pretty standard party. It's my safe party. Like, this is, especially for qualifiers, I want to get through this seed, so I need the best smattering party I can have. In addition, I mean, the blursings were beautiful. I mean, Black Mage had heal magic. Ninja had heal plus magic, which saved me in Topher. Even the fighter had elemental magic, which came into play a few times.
Okay. Yeah, and Gouda, I guess the same question for you real quick, of just like, is that your normal party, or did you kind of follow the blursings a little bit?
I've been practicing a little bit of everything, and I really like doing the thief black belt, because if you get a canoe, getting a black belt up to speed is great. And honestly, if Edge hadn't finished in 103, I probably would have taken the black belt up and finished the seed the proper way. But the way that the scoring works with this is if you're over 15 minutes out of first place, well, you're not gonna get anything more than 15. So I'm like, well, I'm at 21. I might as well just go into Topher and see what happens. Maybe I can get, 13 points or 12 points instead of 15. So it was more tactical on the back end, but on the front end, I've been kind of practicing a little bit of everything. Honestly, I'm probably just gonna go with Thief Rainbow and enjoy myself.
Yeah, that is valid. But yeah, so um, I'm trying to decide which one of you I want to ask about your Lich fight first.
Scarcer,
Yeah,
White Mage,
Scarcerer.
Clutch.
Oh,
You took that down to the wire. The real question is, why didn't you go back to Mel? Oh, right. Why did you go back to Melmond after that clutch win?
I had life charges. I needed to get my party up. All right, why didn't I go right away? You mean?
Yeah, yeah. You went over to Sarda.
Yeah. I had the walk cycle down, and so I could not fight anything until I was ready. Until I checked all that.
Okay, fair enough. Um, yeah. So Demon, um, how hard was it to unclench after that Lich fight?
Oh, that was fun. Yeah, Lich being like, okay, we're going to. Oh, that's a very, very nice katana +2 ninja you have there. It'd be a shame if I held him. Followed immediately by the way, half your team's dead, and at that point it's just like silver 3 that I, decided to drag out of, Earth 1. Please carry me.
Yeah. So actually, Windfox on screen right now reminds me of another thing. Demon, I believe you were the one who decided to go back into Marsh Cave with the key. Was that you, or is that Scarcerer?
No, I went back in.
Okay.
I again, I'm completionist in these flags, and I'm like, I'll go down, I'll reset out, and then I pull the black, what is it, like a black +5, and I'm like, it's the best piece of armor I'm gonna find. So I actually ended up dragging it out. Same thing with I was gonna reset out of checking Topher lock, especially when I see the X on the first chest. And then I go up and it's like flame shield +4, and I'm like, that's the best thing my ninja's gonna find. I guess I'll drag it out.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm just trying to think here of other interesting things. Yeah, routing wise, I don't really have any questions for any of y'all. Like, because yeah, Demon Scarcery, y'all basically made the density plays at every juncture where you had to make a choice. And Gouda, after after the first time you took on Lich, you basically went the route of, okay, gonna go get swole real quick. I'll be back.
Honestly, I think the final separation it looked like was the decision one to take the fight of Warmech before fighting Tia and one not.
Yeah, Gouda, you were gonna say though?
Oh yeah, I was gonna say it was only a 20-minute detour, not a big deal. Let me just come back to this in a little bit.
Yeah. Was there any temptation to redive Earth just to get the key items and head back up, or was it just no, if I'm coming back here, I'm gonna go ahead and finish it out?
I didn't I think it was Images had Stinger, like first turn Stinger.
Yeah, they did.
And I did not like that because I was out of pure potions. So I was like, the options are go somewhere, get a bunch of pure potions, dive back in, or just get enough levels and HP. I'm gonna do that anyway, so I might as well go down, get promoted, use the katana, get some levels, get some charges, because Fire 3 should be enough to get through Lich every single time. It should be, except when Lich has Blaze on the first turn, in which case Squishy team goes,
yeah.
With Lit 2 to back it up.
yeah, I never got that far.
Yeah. What was I gonna say?
What was your reaction to finding the canoe and the cube in Greater Than Lesson?
I said, all right, this is cool. Like, what I was looking for was just shards. Like, all right, I need shards. I have the loot, I have a key. All I need are shards. So I'm gonna go where there's a bunch of chests.
Yeah.
Mirage has a bunch of chests.
Yeah. was there any question? I guess for all three of you, was there any question of I'm going to go ahead and finish this out once you found that cube, or?
Yeah, I had a couple of questions of whether or not I could kill Tia, because at that point I didn't have a ribbon. So I was like, well, if I don't have a ribbon, I'm not going to go up against Tia, and then I'll go see what the blue dragon can do, maybe get a few levels on him, and then either ship over to C or go do Volcano, because Volcano's a little bit easier. I can grind it on Agama. I can get the rest of what I need up there. But once I found the ribbon, I'm like, why not?
There were actually 2 ribbons up there in Sky. Or, yeah, I believe.
Yeah, I
That
think
might
one
be
was in,
crazy.
I think one was in Mirage, one was in Sky, and then the other one was on Astos.
Yeah. So, it was one of those things where, yeah, I think it was Sky 1 and Sky 2 each had a ribbon, and then Astos had the 3rd ribbon.
Yeah,
I also provided some good armor, multiple like shield and chest beats.
yeah, Mirage was pretty stacked. I think I pulled the dragon armor out of Mirage, and I mean by the time I got there, I knew that was the last place that was left. So I knew I was pulling everything out. Of course, I pulled Cube and Canoe out of the same room, but at that point I was 5 shards to go, and I'm looking for one more shard. A ribbon would be nice, and then I'm just gonna go kill Tia to get to max and kill Warmac on the way up for levels. I ended up pulling out what was my 2nd ribbon because I faded Sky 2, planning to go Sky 3 and back down if necessary, and then I had a pretty touch and go Warmac fight and just went out from there.
Alright. So,
Looks like Windfox left greater than less than Cube in hand, didn't want to go to Sky, went ahead and got the floater, popped into the Sky. Let's see if he thanks to Check Matoya at this point, because if he does, he has the ability to promote and get that good gear, but no, he's going back into Volcano. Maybe he's going for a grind? Or did he run back out without killing Carrie?
Yeah, so for for you three's knowledge, so Windfox is the only one of the restreamed runners who did not go to check Matoya first thing.
Ouch.
Nope, never. I've been burned by skipping Matoya. I 100. And this time she's pulling the MMO fetch quest. I need my crystal eye. It's on the shelf. It's on the shelf.
Okay. Have you ever lost your glasses?
Yes.
Yeah. So you know how this goes. Like it is a problem that she had.
Her crystal eye is probably like a contact, guys. Like, she lost her contact and now she's completely blind.
Yeah, exactly. Like honestly, her losing the crystal eye in her closet is the most realistic thing about the whole procedure.
I agree. But honestly, for anybody who's thinking about who hasn't raced these yet or hasn't practiced, the way that the randomizer tends to work, at least what I've seen, is somewhere in the very near vicinity to Corneria is going to be some sort of or some combination of items that's going to get you to a major chest dense area. So if you skip Matoya just because you don't have the crystal, or you don't have the crystal, yeah, that's not a good play in these flags, just because of the way that the randomizer tends to work.
Yeah, if you get through your inner sea and earth and you aren't at maximum missing one fetch quest item, you've probably missed something. You should have. The randomizer tends to give you about every fetch quest item by the time you're leaving, like, Marsh and Earth.
It has to do with the flag that was set. Originally, we weren't running that, but we changed it. The incentive items are actually set to be relatively linear, still randomized, but key progression items should be in order of where you can get to them as soon as possible.
And that makes sense with just kind of the way that the placement is. Like, I've only had one seed so far where Bridge was not king, like vanilla Bridge, basically. Or earlier. And that one was, oh, hey, here's a ship and a canoe. Good luck. Oh, okay, that's what you're gonna do.
Well, heck, in this seed, I think it was in the bottom of Marsh, wasn't it?
Bicky had the ship.
Bicky had the ship.
Yeah.
Where was it? No, Bridge was early.
Bridge was
in Toph.
I think it was the southwest chest.
It was.
Oh.
Seed bleed.
Yeah, that's why I usually don't run seeds on race days.
All right, gents. I appreciate the restream. Appreciate everything. My old man body is deciding it's sleepy time.
Oh, yeah, I'm
So,
feeling it.
so I appreciate it. Great shout out to Final Fantasy Randomizer for hosting us, and Winter Tournament is going to be a blast. Positive 60, here we come. Let's go. 60 or bust.
All right.
Good night, guys.
Good night. All right. So, yeah. But speaking of old man times, Windfox, it looks like, is going to probably be a little while. So it may be wise to just send folks over to cheer him on and go ahead and kind of wrap things up here so that those of us on the East Coast can potentially get to bed at a reasonable time.
The air quotes are evident even over Twitch, yeah.
So let's kind of go ahead and get some final thoughts. So, Demon, what are your final thoughts on the seed, the flags set so far from your practice, and so forth?
The seed was actually not bad. I didn't see a lot of the nastiness that people had seen, Death Touch Giants, things like that. The flag set in general, I have a lot of thoughts. Some of them probably aren't appropriate for restream, but I guess the best thing I can say, especially when after we get through qualifiers into brackets, it will be a double elimination but best of one. This is a puncher's flag set. Anybody can beat anybody on any given day with the right routing, and it's going to be absolute madness when we get to brackets.
That makes this sound really exciting. Scarcer, you got any thoughts?
I did better than I thought I would. I was expecting to take my 15 and go.
Nah,
I'm certainly getting less than that.
Yeah, you did pretty solid. Yeah, probably I would assume, without knowing too much about what the off-stream runners did, I assume a lot of the difference between times came down to who said air provides versus making the safe play to seed. Like, that tends to be the tail of the tape there. But yeah, no, both of you, like I said, it was really entertaining because y'all were basically holding hands right up until Demon said, I'm going to stop and fight this Warmech. And I'm pretty sure that, like Thavian was saying, that's basically the time difference between you two, was that one, the time it took for that one Warmech fight. But yeah, with all that being said, I guess a couple of bookkeeping notes, then Thavian, I will give you the final word in Ragnarok 784, our restreamer, first-time restreamer. Thank you for stepping up and helping out. Can go ahead and take us out of here. And again, shoutouts to Socket for handling the off-screen tracking and helping us kind of keep tabs on what all was going on. But bookkeeping. So, are going to have another race like this on Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern over on RPG Limit Break. That's going to be the Qualifier 2. So, look forward to that. And if you did enjoy this, make sure to follow all of the runners. I don't actually know if we have a bot that will do that, but their screen names are all on Twitch the same as you are seeing on the screen right here, so very easy to find them. Thavian Hawk, thank you for doing this with me, so you can have the last word. Take us home.
Well, thank you to our runners. Thank you very much, Woat, for the entry, just handling comms. Socket, huge job doing the tracking, not being able to work with the overlay. Thank you very much. And Ragnarok having to improvise this overlay setup. We very much wish ADR's system is back online. He is a god to this community, not just FFR. Basically every randomizer of matter, his system is excellent. But moving on from that, definitely going to look forward to the races, not just the races on stream, the async races that we'll be running. All of our runners have to at least be on one streamed race, so that's going to be a challenge. we've got a few more runners who have finished off stream. I can go through those if you like. Otherwise, we are going to go ahead and close it out for the night. Thank you very much for watching. Y'all have a good day.
Take care, everyone.